Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Practical Reefer. Been a bit quiet on the videos lately, the tank's kind of settled in now, so kind of just buying corals and bits and pieces. So I've still got my two clownfish, they're doing really well, and I've got my tailspot blenny who eats non-stop. I don't particularly feed him, but he's constantly eating algae, he's constantly eating copepods, and he's pretty chubby, and he probably makes more mess than the clowns do, so he's pretty happy. I've got a few mushrooms and stuff. I've popped them on the sand benches. Now, my original 3 mushrooms are all doing fine. They were hydrogen peroxide dipped, no problems there. I have bought other mushrooms, which this rock here was sat over this way, and I had some other mushrooms. I bought a few from Fish and Fins and Forfar the other week, and I've actually lost a couple. They've kind of melted and disintegrated. I don't know if they're right under the lights and it was a bit too bright. So there's 2 which you maybe can't quite see, you maybe just see in the reflection slightly there, I'll show you them later, that I've popped under the sort of this overhanging arm to give them a bit more shade. They didn't seem to be doing that well. They were kind of starting to shrivel up a bit. They were quite big mushrooms, so not quite sure what's going on there. It's maybe the intensity of the light. The one clove, or the one polyp of clove firework polyps that I had is spreading. There's 2 little tiny polyps now also, and there's other arms spreading out. And then the larger papaya one, which is at the back there, it's spreading out. It's actually joining onto the rockwork in a few different places. And then the 3 cloves of like papaya again, but it's kind of a more green than the yellow. That one's also got little sort of runners that are going out. So in terms of par 38, they're definitely growing corals. My GSP there is starting to spread onto the rock, and I've got rid of the box because it got really dirty and it was a pain to clean, because you had 6 sides of the box, and then you had the 6 insides of the box, and then you had the bit of the glass that it was covering. Whereas I've now got myself now it is a suction cup frag rack, but it uses little screws to turn and it pulls the suction cup, so it actually gives you better. So magnetic probably would have been the best bet, but for a tenner off AliExpress, the fact that it turns, it's a much more secure than just your standard suction cup, which I was told ends in tears because they eventually just fall off. And it's the same with most kit like that, but these actually turn and they tighten, so it gives you a really good grip, and it's been in there for over a week and it's fine. So I've got all my zoas in here now, and I have also today just got a delivery of some more zoas, which I'm going to go through and I'll show you just now. So guys, the zoas that I did get, it was a chap I seen on Facebook, Joe. I'll maybe pop his details out. Well, actually I don't need to. Joe advertised on Facebook, and then when I messaged him, he sent me a link. He's actually got it's a really nice little website. It's very much it's quite small scale, but he has a lot of zoas, and it's oceanbluecorals.co.uk. So I just messaged him. I was interested. I've seen his pictures on Facebook and they look great. So I went to oceanbluecorals.co.uk, and he's got lots of sort of single, double heads and different things like that. There's some more expensive ones. I'm kind of starting a bit low. I'm kind of looking for the 10-15 quid for maybe a couple of polyps or so, just to get me started. And then once I get these growing and things, and I'm more stable and comfortable and happy that I can grow them, I'll maybe buy some more expensive ones in future. But certainly I've paid for these. Everything in my tank's been paid for. No one's ever given me anything as yet, apart from a friend who very nicely gave me some zoas and mushrooms and stuff. So I'm just going to open these just now. They've just arrived sort of 20 minutes ago. He sent them yesterday because we had the bank holiday, and then they've arrived now, which is what we're on. It's only 10:30 in the morning, so pretty quick at arriving. And pretty decent bit of packaging. So he's got himself a box which is exactly the same size as the packaging. I might actually flip the camera around and let you see it a bit better. And that's the chap there, oceanbluecorals.co.uk. So it's pretty good. So it's a personal. He's doing this from home, I imagine, or his own reef tank or a garage or something, or maybe he's maybe just got a frag tank in a spare room. But well, to be fair, I can give you his full name. He's got a business card, so I'm not going to be afraid to give you that. So it's Joe Collins, and that's his details there. But if you go to oceanbluecorals.co.uk, you'll see what he's got. This is the first time I've used him, but it's quite a good wee way, rather than going back and forward on messaging and be like, oh, what have you got? Oh, I've got this, or that one's sold. It's because he updates the stock on his website, if it's there you can buy it, and that's you're done. Nice. So yeah, good sturdy little box. Got little holes in it maybe for ventilation, which maybe a little bit odd, but so nice bit of tape on either end just to. This one's a bit of a zigzag. There we go. Pretty well packaged, just round in some tape at the top. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He seems to have given me an extra plug. I'm sure I ordered 6. And the packaging's great. So opening it there, you see I've got 7. I'm sure I'd ordered 6. Oh, Gatorade freebie. No, he's labelled everything. Oh, these are sturdy. So I've got their Gatorade, which I'm not entirely sure looks like. Hawaiian Sunsets, which are actually open in the plug, or sorry, in the little vial. So I've got 7 or 8 heads of that there. Half of them are already open. I'm gonna pop these, pop them on my desk. So yeah, I've got a free Zoa. Nice. He was delayed in sending them, but it was because it was a bank holiday and didn't bother me. I've got their Tutti Frutti, which I've got just about 3 heads. Is a little tiny one. I'll pop some of the stuff out the way. Rasta's cousin, which I'm sure only paid for a couple of heads, but I'm going to say there's 4 and a couple of tiny ones. It's 6, but you know, a couple of them you wouldn't really be charging people for. And I've got a single head of BBEB. I think that's Big Blonde-Eyed Bitch, is it something that's called like that? I can't remember. Pink Astarina, which I paid for 2 heads. It looks like there's closer to maybe 4. These are cracking little tubs. They're quite sturdy, and there's no oxygen in them, or there's no air in them. So, and then there's a couple of gobstoppers, which are pretty massive actually. Probably why they're called gobstoppers. But yeah, they're pretty big heads on them. So yeah, he's given me a free Zoa, so fantastic. I wasn't expecting that. Let me get them into my container and I'll start getting them acclimated, and then hopefully maybe later on today or tomorrow I'll show you them opened up on my frag rack. Plan is with these all eventually is I'm going to sort all the colours out and get contrasting colours before I start putting them on the rockwork, so it looks good, hopefully. And also I'm probably going to put a little frag of each one into a frag tank and like grow them out and stuff. So that's just something I'm going to do for a bit of fun, is just try and grow them out a bit and see how we go. But plan is to not glue them to the rockwork first, and at the moment things like the fish and the peppermint shrimp are knocking things over, so they're going to go into the frag rack, let them settle, maybe take a little frag to put in the frag tank. So I've got a kind of duplicate of each one, and then I'll put them in. But let me get them acclimated and we'll see them on the frag rack later. So guys, just starting to acclimate these just now. I'm just going to say I've opened 4 of these and they are absolutely solid. And what I didn't notice as well, I thought it was a bit of substrate, is actually popped in a little bit of carbon, just to see if the Zoas throw out any toxins due to shipping or, you know, stress. So that's pretty cool. That's I'd heard of it before. I think I'd read it on his page as well. But so it's just that's the BBEB there. I need to check the name of that one. Can't quite remember what the acronym stands for. I said earlier, but wasn't 100%. But yeah, really solid. He must have put the lid on these underwater, because the amount, like, they're absolutely full of water, so there's no sort of jostling about and things with. So pretty cool. But yeah, a little bit of carbon there just to absorb any toxins potentially, so nice little touch. But I'm just getting these into the jug just now, and I'll start acclimatising them, and then we'll see them shortly. So guys, here we are at 3 o'clock. I've just switched off one of my filters. So they've been in the tank about 3 hours now. Most of them opened pretty quick. So top left there, we've got Hawaiian Sunsets, a load of those. Rasta's cousin on the left. Pink Astarina's bottom left. Gobstoppers top right. Tutti Frutti's on the right hand side. And then I've got Gatorade, which was a freebie, and the last one, BBEB. I'm not quite sure which is which. I think the Gatorade's the bottom right, and the BBEB's in the middle there. So I've only had these couple of hours, all looking awesome. Really happy with those. Clowns want to be fed, as always. But yeah, looking really good, all really nice, and there's a few extra ones there. I think I paid for 2 heads of the pink Astorina, and the Rasta's cousin. I'm sure I paid for 2, maybe 3 heads. So there's a few extra ones in there that are quite small and coming through, but really happy, looking awesome. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'll catch you all next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe.